Hello, this is Sharon Fisher, and Teledyne ISCO would like to welcome you to our webinar, Teledyne Water Data Intelligence. Today we are being joined by Dennis McGinnis, who will share his knowledge in regards to this service. Just to go over a couple of things, if you happen to have any issues during the webinar, please leave and rejoin. That typically will clear the issues that you're experiencing. This video is being recorded and the video will be made available to you in the near future. Well, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dennis so he can further explain why this is such a smart choice. Go ahead, Dennis.
Thanks, Sharon, and thank you everyone for joining us for this presentation. Today I'm going to talk about intelligence as a service, pay for data, not the equipment. Data is the most important product for our customers. However, data alone does not provide information needed for reporting and understanding a system. In this presentation, we'll walk you through the process of collecting raw data and its process to becoming intelligent, useful information to help operate systems more effectively and efficiently. So, with increased pressure from regulatory bodies and entities such as capacity, operations, and maintenance managers to identify problem areas, quantify water flow, and report events, the need for accurate data is more important than ever. Meaningful, actionable flow data is essential to making intelligent decisions in any effective water or wastewater monitoring and management program. While using the right sampling, measurement equipment, and technology is essential, the equipment itself is simply a means to an end. It's the intelligence derived from the data the equipment provides that is actually the vital result. So with less focus on hardware and issues that may arise, it allows you to center on the data, which in turn permits you to operate your system more effectively and efficiently. With complete equipment packages, we help assure you are getting everything you need to get the data for your applications. Everything is included from the field equipment all the way to working with the data to analyze and use it to its full potential. So what's included in the TWDI package? Well, we have a variety of flow meters and sensors that we can supply overnight for any hardware issues that may arise. This, which in turn means low downtime and no extra repair costs. On the cell phone portion of the plan that covers the transfer of data, with no confusing cell plans, we make sure you are paying for only what you need. All equipment is set up and tested before it leaves the factory, which in turn allows you an easier install experience in the field. Additionally, TWDI uses FlowLink Cipher for its data analysis and reporting needs. With quick viewability of the data to alarms and automated reporting, Cipher delivers the data to allow you to analyze your system, which allows you to be more efficient. So with the number of equipment options available, we have everything from the DuraTracker, the DuraTracker EX, the Signature. Sensors go from rain gauges to the 350 EX, the 310 ultrasonic, the 360, and the 360 laser. So all of these products are included, available with our TWDI packages. However, if you have an application that may require a piece of equipment that is not located here, please let us know. We are open to suggestions or maybe coming up with something. As an example, samplers or any other type of flow measurement device that you have a question about, definitely make sure you get a hold of us and we can work that through for you. However, there are some variables unforeseen by the packages, like power options. You know, is it going to be AC power available at the site, or will they be battery powered? Additionally, due to various pipe sizes and shapes, site location mounting availability, we can adjust your packages to your site needs when you're ordering your TWDI package. So in the packages, we will not automatically include the battery or AC power options or the sensor mounting, but we will cover that with you as your needs for your application arises. All right, so let's talk about the Cipher being a cloud-based software. This does allow you to access the data any place or any time because it's basically anytime you have any place you have an internet connection, you have access to your Cipher. With the analysis tools that we have, they're very intuitive, which I will give a demonstration later on in this presentation. But basically, with the tools that we allow you to have there, it just makes the data viewing easy and reports getting out there. Being cloud-based also, there's less IT support. You don't have to worry about training your IT personnel and keeping them licensed up on what's going on with firewalls and data protection and things like that. Because it's all cloud-based, it's nothing that your IT department needs to worry about. This also saves costs such as software licenses and keeping your IT staff skilled to operate this server. There's no software installed because it's all browser-based. This helps IT a lot because in the past, if you have software to install, like we did, or you have other software packages currently, anytime there's an update or something has to happen, you have to get your IT involved to uninstall that software to reinstall the new update. In this case, because it's browser-based, all you really need is a web browser to access your data. Updates are free and automatic. Because they're on the cloud, there's no server that we have to log into to update those or have you guys uninstall your IT, get in there and update. It's all done on the cloud-based server, so we can do that all in the background. Your updates are automatic. One day you log in and all your new features are already available to you. Secure data hosting, again, because it's on the cloud, we see a lot more government entities being interested in this due to the government entities being targeted for hacks and malware. So there's no hacking, no ransomware because the server is not on the premises. We have automatic data backups, so you don't have to worry about your IT having to deal with that. With the fast analysis and high computing power that the servers allow you to use, being on the cloud, the servers can adjust to demand. If there's a large demand for your data processing, those servers can increase their power output. The quick glance at sister performance and dashboard of view maps allow you to get to your data quickly, and then quick analysis with templates and computed data sets, math and computed data functions, which are part of the software package. We have programmable alarms, which are flexible to your programming alarms of any recorded data. That could be battery, level, flow, any diagnostics readings. We can alarm off of those. And then accessibility, again, you have access anytime or any place that you have an internet connection, because it's all cloud-based. You don't have to have a VPN connection or be on the premises to see your data. So with using the cloud-based service model, you do actually have access to the data, as I mentioned, but you have near real-time performance. This allows you to work on your collection systems as the data is coming in for overflow monitoring, and you also have alarm-based conditions that you can set up in the server. So this allows you to act on things that are happening in real time. This allows you to act on the moment, so you get to stay in compliance by acting on live data. This also reduces operating costs and improve data asset performance by being on the cloud base. And then using data to make intelligent choices, again, makes you more efficient. And this overall enables your management team to focus on the actual core business activities. You don't have to worry about the hardware and what's going on in the field. If you have issues with any of that stuff, it's all covered by the equipment calling us, and we can help get that swapped out with the hardware overnight shipping, as I said earlier. So it just basically takes a lot of the focus off of the hardware itself, allows you to concentrate on the actual data. So some of the cost advantages of going with TWDI, you actually have a lower monthly fee to make it easier to work within your budget. So you're not coming up with a lump sum, you actually you're spacing out with monthly costs. The cost of data analysis and the collection is known because it's a known cost. This helps you budget for your forecasting. It is saving capital expenditures because you don't have any capital assets. You're not buying a server, you're not having hardware ownership, so it all comes under operational costs. So a lot of times that is very useful in situations where you can't get your capital expenditures approved, but you have operational costs that are approved. You could put this under operational costs because you're not having any hardware or server ownership in this case. So that makes an alternative for how your expenses are handled. It circumvents high upfront costs for large projects. We talked about the monthly versus lump sum. Perpetual warranty. You don't have to worry about buying extended warranties if you want to have that for your equipment. As long as you're on the TWDI contract there, the equipment's always under warranty. So if you have any problems, you let us know, and we have reduced downtime because we can ship that equipment overnight to replace that equipment. Obviously, on the weekend might be a little bit of an issue, but during Monday through Friday, we are open. We can get that stuff shipped out to you overnight. So some common jobs suited for TWDI versus the traditional equipment purchase. Needs that can't wait for your formal purchasing process. This again goes back to your operational expenditures versus capital expenditures. On top of that, we can deliver in a short-term notice. So typically we can ship equipment between 24 and 48 hours of a new TWDI contract. And so that helps you get this stuff. If you need it quickly, you can get it out there, get the stuff quickly. It's perfect for large flow studies, complementary equipment needs to purchase inventory. Basically what that means is we have customers that already have ISCO equipment and they can still utilize the TWDI as well. Perhaps they have a project, they don't have enough of their own equipment to satisfy the need. One can utilize the TWDI to fill the inventory needs they don't have on hand. So it can complement equipment that you already have. So just keep that as an option. It's perfect for wastewater balance surveillance. That's things like COVID and opioid detection. You know, your flow meter can trigger basically for defensible data, stormwater monitoring, and long-term projects with fewer data collection and hardware hassles. Again, because we're handling the data collection for you via the cloud server, the hardware hassles, take it off your hands. If you have any issues, we can get new equipment out to you if it comes to that. So if you're not familiar how the data transfers all the way from the meter and the sensor getting all the way to where you're using it, I made this little animation to kind of set it forward. Basically at the beginning, we have our sensor out in the field. It's going to be recording the data. Here I've got a laser flow on the top section connected to a Dura tracker. And so what happens is the laser sensor takes the data, it records at the Dura tracker. The Dura tracker then transmits that via its cell phone to the iCloud servers in the upper right-hand corner, where that's hosted. Then the user can then log in and access that data via web UI or web browser. Additionally, we have, because of the different types of equipment, different types of sensors, the other animation is basically just showing we have ultrasonics, AV sensors hooked up to a signature, does the same thing, goes through the cell service to get to the cloud, and from the cloud, it then is accessible remotely. So with that, I'm going to show a quick demonstration of the FlowLink Cipher and how it works. So once you're in FlowLink Cipher, you start on the dashboard. And what's nice about the dashboard, it allows all your data to be seen in one shot. This is completely user definable, and there's no limitation on the number of dashboards you want. You could have dashboards for particular projects or based on watersheds. Pretty much any, if you're a flow service provider, you can have dashboards based on your customer base. But in the end, each dashboard can represent any way you want, and you can put any data that you want up on there in any order. You can move things around. You can change the sizes of the gadgets on the dashboard. But again, and then if I want to save my change, again, I'm not going to go through like the training of this. That's for a different webinar. But in this particular case, I just want to show you some of the tools that the Cipher allows you to get to your data to make those intelligent choices based upon those events and the data from Cipher can give to you. So again, dashboard, one-stop shop, everything from site information. If a site stops pushing in, you get this nice yellow alarm, says a site has failed to push in, hence why there's no data here. If you're comparing different sites, you can make a graph that compares multiple sites. Here I have an INI study going on. If you want to jump to this graph, I really want to study this graph further, I can simply use this dot, these three dots here, and go to the graph, in which case takes me to the analysis tools. So there's shortcuts to make your job easier. So here I now have a blown up version of the data I have on the dashboard. So it's quick and easy to get to. If there's any alarms that are activated, you see this red hue, it shows me my sites are in alarm. I have alarm gadgets below that shows me all my sites in case I have, 20, 30, or maybe even 400 sites. I don't have to look at each one of these site gadgets to see what's an alarm. I can simply use the alarm gadget to see all my sites in one location. Same thing for the silent alarm, meaning a site quits pushing in. So here you can see Capitol Parkway is yellow, and I have it listed here. And the battery voltage application here on this gadget allows me to view all my voltages for all my sites. I can sort those from high to low. So here, Alba has the lowest battery voltage at 10.11 when it last got in. I can even swap that around. If a site does not have battery voltage, it might be AC powered, so it's not even in there. In that case, I could even get rid of that out of my list. I could even, let's get rid of that. And so it just removes it from the list. And now I just got my battery voltages. So this dashboard allows you, again, to see your data quickly, helps you be more efficient and more effective in your data handling. The map screen has the ability to put in your locations for your sites. You can click on them, they zoom in. You can see their longitude, latitude. There's some shortcuts for graphs. If I wanted to make a quick graph of this particular site, I can simply click this. It automatically populates the graph with my level velocity flow rate information for that site. So there are some quick tools available within the map screen as well. Zoom in, zoom out, shows all your sites that are available. The color coding is matched to your dashboard, so you can simply see if a site's working properly, if it's an alarm, or as in Capital Parkways on my last example on the dashboard, it has failed to push, it's yellow. So it's a quick visual to see the status of your sites. Site screen shows all of the sites that you have in your service envelope. So here we go, I've got 13 sites available to me. With the drop-down card, I can still do quick graphs. I can make, just as I showed you on the map, I can jump and make a graph with the level velocity flow rate. I have the ability to disable a site if I choose to, making room for other sites to come in. So if Apple Tree is going to be decommissioned, I can deactivate the site, which frees up the license to allow me to take that site from that field, move it to a new location, give it a new name. And now because that license is freed up, when the new site pushes in, it pops in here and it's utilizing that license that you freed up. Now I should point out, whenever you disable a site, the data is still here for your use. All the data that was collected while it was activated is available to make graphs. Obviously, you're not gonna be able to alarm off of it because no new data will be coming in while it's deactivated. If I simply move the site back to a situation where I need to activate it again, I can re-enable it here within Cipher, and now it's gonna allow more data to come back in. If the site is an alarm, you have the alarm icon here that shows such the case. Also, if you go to the site screen, you have the ability to attach permits, engineering drawings, site photos, even site videos. You have the ability to add some things like manhole number or an address. It will give you the time it last pushed in, just like you saw on the dashboard. Also, this is where I can set my threshold. In this case, if the site fails to push in for 24 hours, that's when I get my silent site alarm. But this is usable, changeable. If I am pushing every hour, perhaps maybe I want to be, after only 4 hours instead of after 24 hours, I want to know about it. So this will allow the site to actually trigger after only 4 hours versus an entire day. So there's my 4-hour update that will show up if it fails to push it within 4 hours. If I do have a call window set up for the meter, it shows it here, my longitude, latitude information. If it's part of a tenant, it can hear, and you can also put notes in the comment section. There's some nice filtering here for any events that happen at the site, whether it's a data alarm, a program change, lots of different types of events here can be listed. The device tells you what kind of device it is, its serial number, what version of firmware it has in the meter, and all the data sets that's being recorded in the meter. The alarm screen, plain and simple, this is a list of your historical list of all the alarms, and these are data events, everything from a site not pushing in, the diagnostics file was received, if there was a data alarm. You can even select by site if you want to filter by that. You can even filter by the event type if you're looking for. Even if you know the time and date that the data alarm came in, you can filter that in there. More importantly, though, we have under the settings screen, the server settings allows us to set up these alarms. Again, not a training video, but just kind of want to show you some of the power that this software has. We can set up any type of data alarm for any site. In this case, I have Apple Tree. If the level goes higher than 5.1 inches, I want an alarm. I simply subscribe to it and make sure under my user account, I tell it how I want to be notified, whether that be email and or text. By subscribing to any one of these alarms, I will then get an email and or text based on which alarm condition I want to subscribe to. The analysis screen, this is where all the magic really happens. Here's where I can create graphs. I can view any graph that's made. Any graph that's listed here is available on the dashboard with the shortcuts here, like this particular graph here. You can pull any of these graphs up here on the dashboard for quick, easy viewing. But under the analysis screen shows all the graphs created, even if you don't put them on your dashboard. And if you have any sites that are shared, you can actually see public graphs as well. So you have the ability to include public graphs, which is defined by this little global icon here. If I want to jump into a graph, I can just simply click on it and it opens that graph up for me. If I want to make a new graph, you can use the create new graph function in the lower right-hand corner. And here again, all my sites are listed. I click on them, I got my data sets. The idea here is it's very simplistic to create your graph, get your data what you want to see, and have that graph saved. Once that graph is saved, now I have my tools here. I can edit the data, I can export the data out. Again, we're taking that data and allowing you to use that data to make good decisions, which makes more efficient at the end of the day by having these graphs made. You can just basically click on them as needed and jump into there. Along with that, we can do reports. You can do site reports here with min-max averages included. So I can have a report based on a particular site. What do I want in that report? I want my level, I want my velocity information, I want my flow data. So this is a very easy step. I want my averages for these guys. I want my min-max averages for all three of these. Let's go ahead and calculate volume. And then what my time range is, let's just do last month, broken down daily, and that's it. I hit preview, and there's my report. Now, the nice thing about these reports then, I can save these reports, I can download them directly. I could save this report layout as a template, give it a template name. Or I could just save the report itself, and that's gonna go ahead and save that report available. In this case, I chose PDF and CSV. If I go back to the list, you can see now my report is right here, and I have my PDF or CSV available to me. If I do make that as a template, I have all these template names here, and now I can put any site in there. So here's a last month template. I can pick any site. So now I'm going to go ahead and use Buck Road, and you can see it pulled over my level, velocity, flow rate information. It keeps all my settings that I had, and I just simply hit right through the list, and now it's the same information, but now it's with a different site. And finally, to continue on with that template, if you have the scheduler set up, you can actually use any one of those templates to create an automated report. So I'm gonna use Buck Road. I'm gonna say last month, and I'll give it a name, Buck Road monthly report. It has a list of everybody I want to send it to that's in my Cipher account. If I have somebody that's not in my email list, I can actually type in somebody like Jimmy down the hall needs a copy of this. If he's not in Cipher, I can type Jimmy's email in here by manually. I can tell what I want in the email. I want a PDF and CSV file attached. When do I want it sent? I can send this out on the first day of every 1 month at 8 o'clock in the morning. Saving the schedule, you can see now I have a Buck Road monthly report that's going out on the 1st of every month at 8 a.m. I'm going to deactivate that right here. But by having this activate, what that allows now is an email will appear in their inbox on the 1st of every month with that information. That allows the customer to go in, look at that report, make decisions on that information. If there is an anomaly, however, and you want to further investigate that, they can then log into Cipher, go to the analysis screen, open up the graph, and then they can view that time range, go to that area to see where that anomaly is at that pointed out in the graph. But for the most part, with the report being delivered into their mailbox, they may have no need to even open up Cipher. If everything looks great, they just move on or pass the information along. Again, if there is a discrepancy, they can simply log in and investigate that. At the end of the day, though, the idea is to make this data useful to you. Make it make sense, make it allow you to be more efficient at your job. Again, with the total TWDI package, you remove all of the hardware concerns out of this. You don't need to worry about the cell phone bill being paid. You don't need to worry about the equipment breaking down. All that information we handle for you. We have the access to the server. If there's any issues with your data you contact us. We are a single contact point of problems that may arise, you're not calling a cell service provider to find out why all of a sudden you're not pushing data. You can contact us. We have the ability to look at your account and determine if there's a problem at the cell service or if there's a problem with the hardware. If there's a problem with the hardware, we can help troubleshoot the hardware with you. If we need to replace the hardware, we will get something shipped out right away for you. So the idea here is the TWDI is the total package. It's a one-stop shop for everything you need to get the data in your hands to make good decisions with. Finally, I've got a list of all the different packages available here. You can get any of this information from the factory or your ISCO rep, but as you can see, we have a number of prepackaged systems already set up for you. But again, if there's something here in the package that doesn't fit, or you don't see a full complete package here, or maybe you need something else, please come to us, let us know, let us see if we can't address your issues, your needs, and get you set up. With that, I will pass this over to you guys to ask any questions. Sharon, do you have any directions on the questions? I believe we want to put those in a particular section in the webinar.
Yes, there is a questions button. Please click on that and you can enter the questions to Dennis, and he'd be happy to answer. It looks like we have a few that have rolled in. So Dennis, if you can answer those.
Thank you. So my first one is, who do I contact for the TWDI questions and ordering? Well, your first contact, I would suggest going to your rep. They're your local information person, so contact your local rep. If you don't know who your local rep is, you can actually go to isco.com or teledyne.isco.com. In the upper right-hand corner, there is a Find My Rep option. You can click on that, type in your zip code. It will give you your rep information and let you know how to contact them. Otherwise, you are more than welcome to contact myself. You can see my email is listed here on the screen, or you can contact our customer or a product support group to help. It depends on the questions you have. Customer service would work for pricing and things like that. Otherwise, if you have any questions in the field about your equipment, our product support group can be reached at 866-298-6174. That's our direct line to our product support line. And from there, we can answer any questions you have. The next one is cost. The next question, what is the cost of the different packages? Well, the answer to that is it's going to depend on the package. We have different packages for different pieces of equipment. So again, for that, I'm going to say for the actual price, that's going to depend. So I'm going to say contact your rep, as we discussed on the last question, or contact customer service, basically depending on what package you go with. That's going to have a lot of on the cost. Okay, follow-up question then. How do I know which package to get? Good question. That's going to depend on your application. So with the different variable applications that you might have, the location where they're at, we don't believe in a single sensor solves every problem. This is why we have a number of different pieces of sensor technology, as well as the signature for permanent mount, which can still be used portably, but made for permanent mount. Or if it is portable, we typically point you towards more the DuraTracker. So a lot of that's going to be some questions we may have as far as, where is this going to be mounted? Is it a portable application, a permanent application? What kind of sensor technology are you going to use? Do you have a flume or a weir where maybe we can just get away with an ultrasonic sensor? Do you need AV technology where we can use a 350 AV sensor versus a laser? So a lot of that's going to be application based. So really your best answer for that, if you're not sure what you need, I would again get with your local rep. They could many times even come out to your site if needed, make a site visit and do a little estimate of what you've got and what is best needed for your application. So I'm going to say, yeah, contact them. If you prefer, you can also contact us at the factory, as I mentioned before. In that case, we're going to have the questions that I just mentioned. We're going to ask you some questions like about the application. Is it permanent? Is it remote? And questions about the actual pipe or the application itself, like what pipe size, do you have a weir and flume? These are the kind of questions we're going to have to ask to find out what is the best package or the best equipment that you're going to need. All right, the next one is, how long do I get the equipment? Well, you can have it as long as you want, to be honest. That's the right answer. Is if you need this, there is really no deadline. There's no end date on this. You can perpetually keep signing up for TWDI. Now, I will say the minimum is a 1 year. So it's a 1 year. It is, however, billed monthly. It's not a lump sum, as I discussed earlier. So you do have the ability to break this up monthly. But it is a 1 year minimum contract. But obviously, you need to move it on to the next year and the following year. As far as that goes, you just re-sign back up and we got you covered. Okay, another. Who do we use for the iCell account? So Teledyne ISCO, we currently use Verizon through our iCell service package. The main reason we like the Verizon is we get a really good price on those Verizon contracts, because everything through iCell, we can pass that along to you guys. We're in the business of hardware, not cellular service. So by getting us a large cell service plan with all of our customers under one umbrella, we can spread that along to everybody. That makes these monthly fees very, very low. We also have access, because everything's going through us as a contract. It's not going to you directly. In the past, if you have Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile, by the way, which our modems all support, you can use any service provider you want with our modems. We use Verizon through iCell. And what that allows us to do is, because we are the end customer for Verizon, and then we pass that along to you guys, if there's any issues with Verizon, we get to work with Verizon directly. In the past, we had to have the user or the customer be the in-between, which was a real pain, because you would come to us for a question, we would give you a question to have to go back to Verizon to ask. Verizon would give you the answer, you'd pass that along to us. So you were basically the human telephone, and it became a real pain. Now we are actually the end user for Verizon. So if there's any issues, we can figure it out. We get to work with them directly, figure out the issue, get it addressed, and then that way you just sit back, and things aren't working, you let us know, we figure it out, and we got you fixed up and running again. I think with that, we're going to finish the questions. I will be available for more questions via my email address up here. So any questions we didn't get to, obviously we'll do a follow-up on those. Sharon, I'll let you give the closing comments, and thank you so much, everybody, for your time.
Well, thank you, Dennis, for sharing your expertise, and I would like to thank our audience for joining us today. If we didn't get to your questions, please know that Dennis will answer them. They're all being captured, so he will respond soon to you. So with that, we're going to go ahead and close out. We hope that you can join us again next time. Take care.